Jessica Tarlov, the Fox News liberal known for shutting down MAGA talking points on air, triggering her co-host, and today it seems like triggering Donald Trump, was back at it again, speaking the truth on Fox, really the only person on the Fox propaganda network to speak the truth. And she was talking about this incredible surge that we are seeing from Kamala Harris, not just in her approval rating, which is up about 14 points in the past week, but her surging past Donald Trump in key swing states. And we are going to show that polling a little bit later, so stick around. But when Jessica Tarlov was talking about Kamala Harris's surge, obviously her co-host couldn't handle it. They tried to interrupt her, tried to cut her off because they know she is triggering their audience. And more importantly, today she triggered Donald Trump. And we will talk about that. But first, let's get into this clip of Jessica.
I want to talk about is that
that's weird.
Whatever the strategy is now, it is working. So Kamala Harris is now running either tied or ahead in national polling. Same in the swing states. Her favorability, not just up 8 points, it's up 12 points. Well, Donald Trump has gone down 5.
She's the next
Don't
Obama.
do it.
She's going to win.
And J.D. Vance
so
has gone down 8 points.
So nervous.
Democratic enthusiasm is up 26
but she's only
points.
doing one thing. She's reading speeches.
Why are you saying, oh my God?
Because I'm like, we have to tease.
She's going to win. Oh my God.
Yeah, because we have to tease.
Kamala Harris, the next Barack Obama. It's a cultural phenomenon. How do we stop her, Brian?
All right.
Her Fox co-hosts really just can't handle the truth, can they? That is why it is the Fox propaganda network, and that is why Jessica Tarlov is our only shining light of truth on that network. But that wasn't the only devastating blow that she delivered to their propaganda outlet. It wasn't the only time that she called Donald Trump out on the show. She also talked about this new Democratic narrative that we're seeing, and I am frankly loving, and you will hear more about on this show, which is just to point out that Republicans are weird. Wanting to be involved in our bedroom or our doctor's office in our daily lives, that is weird. And that's what Republicans want to do. This party that claims to care about freedom actually wants to be involved in every part of our life in the most odd ways imaginable. And so Democrats across the country have been saying the truth, and that's just that Republicans are weird. And Jessica said just that. Let's check it out.
Jesse's point that people don't think that Donald Trump is weird. You listen to these rallies where he's talking about sharks getting electrocuted. No, you could say that. If you are not a diehard Trump supporter, the late great Hannibal Lecter doesn't resonate in the same way. The sharks, the weird stuff about batteries. Like, Donald Trump is not a normal human, and I guess
I'm glad that she's pointing this out. I'm glad that Democrats are talking about this, but funny enough, it's not just Democrats and Jessica Tarlov on Fox who are saying this. Fox, I don't know if they did this to upset Donald Trump or they did it just because, every once in a while they have to cover a real story, but they put together a compilation of Democrats and elected officials and people across the country just talking about how really weird Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are and the entire MAGA movement. So let's check that out.
Well, it's just plain weird. I mean, that's the box you put that in, right?
It's not just a weird style that he brings. It's that this leads to weird policies.
That is weird behavior. More extreme, more weird, more erratic.
I mean, on the other side, they're just weird.
The 32 ounces of weird.
Donald Trump and his weirdo running mate.
And by the way, they are weird.
It is bizarre. It's weird. It is weird.
J.D. Vance, just dumb Vance, is pretty weird.
Now, in the beginning of this video, I talked about how there have been many ways in which Donald Trump has been hit hard and really kind of stabbed in the back by his friends at Fox News, and it's resulted in this absolute meltdown from him. And it's not just Jessica Tarlov, but also Donald Trump's old enemy, George Conway, and his anti-psychopath pack have made a big ad buy on Fox News. They are playing their ads pointing out Donald Trump's cognitive decline and really cognitive dementing. And Donald Trump must have seen one of them because he took to Truth Social and absolutely melted down about the unfair, in his mind, coverage that Fox News is giving to the people who he despises the most, absolutely melting down, and it was hilarious. So we're going to check out what Donald Trump said. Trump said, "Why is Fox News putting on crazy Kamala Harris rallies? Why do they allow the failed and disgraced Lincoln Project to advertise on Fox News? Even Mr. Kellyanne Conway, a man so badly hurt and humiliated by his wife, she must have done some really nasty things to him because he is crazy, is advertising on Fox News. we have to win without Fox. Now, that post from Donald Trump is obviously talking about the incredible rallies that Kamala Harris is holding that are being seen by millions of people, including the viewers on Fox News. He's also talking about being so angry about this George Conway ad that is running. And so I want to show both of those things to get a picture of what's really upsetting Donald Trump. But first, we are going to start with this ad from George Conway.
Donald Trump has never, ever been right in the head.
The late, great Hannibal Lecter.
He's a wonderful man.
An enormous, really an enormous.
We got up! And then they announced there was no buys, no.
We've endorsed JP, right? J.D. Mandel.
Take a look at the oranges of the investigation.
Venezuela,
if you have a windmill anywhere near your house, they say the noise causes cancer.
I know more about wind than you do.
I don't know what I said.
Joe Biden won against Barack Hussein Obama. They have voter ID. They have ID on everything. You buy a loaf of bread, you have ID.
The first non-incumbent.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple.
People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to one injection inside or almost a cleaning.
That an illegal one of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
Learn more at psychopac.org.
Just an incredible ad, and I am glad that it is reaching an audience that, like I said, this is the Fox propaganda outlet. And so for these ads to be airing on Fox means that Republican voters are finally being reached with some real information. You know, Fox has for a long time, really since the beginning of the Biden presidency, always wanted to talk about President Biden's mental capabilities. And I thought that was just, you know, a little bit ridiculous and unfair bit of reporting, and that's nothing new from Fox. But President Biden's age has actually assisted him in his leadership. His expertise and know-how of the job from so many years of being around government was extremely helpful to him. But clearly with Donald Trump, as clinical psychologists are stating on the record, it's not being a benefit to him. His age is showing clear signs of a dementing brain from Donald Trump. And I'm so glad that George Conway is resetting this media narrative about Donald Trump and getting us focused on his declining mental state. But like I said, Donald Trump isn't just mad that Fox is airing these ads from George Conway. They are also covering Kamala Harris's incredible rallies. And so really quickly, I wanted to play an incredible clip that I just want y'all to see of one of those rallies. Let's check it out.
And this campaign is also about two different visions for our nation. One, where we are focused on the future. The other, focused on the past. We believe in a future where every person has the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead. A future where no child has to grow up in poverty. Where every worker has the freedom to join a union. Where every person has affordable health care, affordable child care, and paid family leave. We believe in a future where every senior can retire with dignity. So all of this is to say, building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
And it's rallies like that that have led Kamala Harris to absolutely surge in the polls like we were talking about earlier. And a Fox News poll that I want to check out real quick actually shows that. Across the board in the major swing states of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, we are seeing big victories, huge numbers from Kamala Harris, and 10 points in Michigan is just incredible. And again, that's a Fox News poll. That is not a liberal pollster showing these huge numbers that clearly suggest that Kamala Harris, in just the first week of her campaign, is really beginning to move the needle and, in fact, bring Republican voters away from Donald Trump. And that's why he's so angry. It's not just that Democrats and independents are fired up for Kamala Harris, but it's also that Republicans are starting to move to Kamala Harris. And I think that's because so many incredible Democrats have been appearing on Fox, and one of those is Pete Buttigieg, and I want to show that clip.
Let's get real. Border crossings are down in the wake of President Biden's executive actions that he took after Congress failed to act.
So he could have taken action.
He wanted Congress to resolve that because that would have been more durable. But when Trump came in, talked Republicans out of their own bipartisan project because he didn't want the issue to get better. Remember, the worse things are at the border, the better things get for Donald Trump. So he has a vested interest in it remaining chaotic down there. I think this also helps to explain why he didn't exactly conclusively solve it when it was his turn. But I saw something else really important happening at the Republican National Convention on the border and the talk about immigration, which we all recognize is a problem, which is they tried to paint this narrative that if you live somewhere far from the border and immigration hasn't affected you personally, you need to think that immigration is a driver of crime. That was the real message. Immigration leads to crime.
Well, there are blue state governors and mayors who say every state is a border state now. That's Democrats.
Yeah, and now they're saying, but what the false message of the RNC was that this is leading to an increase in crime.
Well,
and I think it's really important that we talk about crime.
Have been very high profile about people.
Of course,
had they not been in this country
cases,
illegally,
but this is my
people
point,
would still
right?
be alive.
Trying to make people think that crime is up when crime is down under Joe Biden and crime was up under Donald Trump. Now, I don't know how often that gets reported on this network, so if you're watching this at home, do yourself a favor and look up the data.
Well, we invite that.
Great. So if you look this up at home, you will know that crime went down under Biden and crime went up under Trump, and I think the violent crime, for sure. So I think the really important thing to ask is, why would America want to go back to the higher crime that we experienced under Donald Trump?
Pete Buttigieg, as always, incredible at laying out the stakes in this election, and he did so there. I love to see Democrats, but especially Pete Buttigieg, appear on Fox because we need to be speaking to those Republican viewers. They're always getting the propaganda of the Fox propaganda outlet, but we need to streamline a little bit of Democratic truth in there, and there is no one better at delivering that truth than Pete Buttigieg, or our good friend Jessica Tarlov as well. But if you want to continue to see these devastating attacks that have been landed on Donald Trump on Fox News, you don't certainly want to watch Fox News, but we give just the good parts of what happens there when they infrequently happen. But make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Hit that subscribe button. It really goes a long way. We have already blown past 90,000 subscribers, and I think with your help, we can maybe hit 100,000 before the end of this month. That would be absolutely huge, and it would mean so much to me. So make sure you are subscribed. And if you can, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. It goes a long way in supporting these videos and would really mean the world to me. And until next time, I'll see you soon.